Hello, hello. All right, so today I want to talk about the Christmas hustle, right? It's about beating that constant demand of the holiday season. So, the holiday season to me is a time where it's joyful. We're all on the same page. It's exciting. It's inspiring for me. It's all about connecting with my friends and my family, just in like these extra special ways. I love this time of the year. So it's my favorite time, but the thing about it is that it brings its own challenges, it brings its own stressors, doesn't it? It adds a whole other layer to what we're already experiencing on a regular everyday basis. It adds to the exhaustion and the overwhelm with the endless list. While my family may think that Christmas just kind of magically shows up in our house, uh, it's actually me, right? It's actually me who puts it all together. So, does this sound familiar to any of you? Well, between the shopping for the gifts, attending any gatherings that we're so gratefully invited to, whether it's cooking or managing my family's expectations, it's so easy to get swept away in the Christmas hustle. And in that busyness, sometimes I forget that I need to pause for myself. Well, this has really been the way for me for the last many years. But in this last year, I've learned a lot about the importance of prioritizing time for myself and my own self care. So, in the hustle and bustle of it all, I remember that self care is not a luxury, it's a necessity, especially during the holidays. If I want to make sure that anything I do and that everything I do for my family to have a great, magical, beautiful Christmas, whatever that looks like, I have to make sure that I'm taking the time out to recharge myself so that I can experience in the joy as well. So I choose to prioritize. I make a choice to prioritize in my own self care. I've lived a life without prioritizing self care and pausing for myself, and I don't want to end up there again. I experienced a burnout a few years back. It took me out, it forced me in a mandatory timeout from life. Um, and it wasn't fun. It was a lot of work to get out of that. So, what I understand today now is that self care matters because I matter. Self care actually prevents burnout, right? Because if you're taking the time out to take care of yourself, to feel joy, to feel refueled, re energized, recharged, and by the way, this can happen in so many different ways. Self care prevents the burnout because the constant demands of the holiday season, especially as we're moving into or we're actually in already, it can basically it can keep us so busy that it can keep us from actually doing anything fun for ourselves, right? It enhances our overall well-being. When I hit my burnout phase, I was sick. I was physically sick. I felt emotionally drained. I felt mentally incapable, honestly. It was hard to make a decision. I don't want to be there again. So self-care matters because I matter, right? So here's some strategies I thought that I would share with you on what I do to self-care and manage because self-care is different for everybody. And this is what it looks like for me. Number one, it's about me setting boundaries. I'm okay with saying no to certain events or certain tasks if I think that um, I've already got a full plate or a full schedule, then I won't do it. Especially if it's a task or an event that I really don't want to be at, and sometimes those happen. I'm okay with saying no. Thank you. I schedule my downtime. I look ahead at my week and I look for pockets where I can enjoy myself, whether it's finding 15 minutes in the middle of my day for a nice power walk around the building, listening to a podcast or some music or an audiobook, whatever makes me happy or is in the mood at that time. I practice mindfulness. I incorporate mindfulness practices like meditation or purposeful deep breathing into my day. It helps me get grounded and it does help me manage my stress. In fact, deep breathing is one of my favorite tactics because, evidence based shows that if you actually deep breathe for 2 full minutes, you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for two, and then exhale for 4 seconds. If you do that for 2 minutes, that's a brain hack, you guys. It actually helps your brain calm down and it tells you that you're safe, that you're fine, that you can rest and relax in that moment. Reduce that anxiety. Right? Staying active is another tactic. I know sometimes when I feel like I don't have any motivation to do anything, this happened to me this past weekend. I didn't want to do anything, go anywhere. Um, but I had some tasks I had to complete to get ready for the week. So, what I do is I put on a workout outfit that makes me feel like I'm legitimately going to work out. And I went for a 30-minute power walk. I grabbed myself my Celsius drink and I went out for a power walk for 30 minutes. And by the time I come back, I feel like productive. I feel like I can do this and I can get something done. So that helps me energize to get tasks done when I'm feeling a low motivation. Then there's the part about what's really important to me is nourishing my body. I take notice in my mindfulness, I take notice of how my body reacts to certain foods. Um, High carb, high sugar foods cause me to crash like within maybe 15 minutes after I eat it. And so what I purposefully do is I always try, and it's not perfect. I'm not perfect at it. I haven't mastered it, but what I always try to do is eat foods that I know are going to energize me, not drain me. So it's things with high protein foods. And sometimes it's just a matter of Googling high protein snack, high protein breakfast, and I get some ideas. And in the recipes that pop up and the ideas that pop up, I don't always have every single ingredient to that recipe, but I make it work and it's fine. It works out. It's delicious. I'll share some of those on some of my social media um, platforms. And then there's reflection and journaling is another one of my tactics. I get up before my household does every morning, so it's pretty early. I'm usually up between 4:30 and 5, and I make my cup of coffee. I love my coffee, and I make my cup of coffee. For you, that can be whatever. If you prefer tea or water, whatever, and I either put on a one of my favorite TV shows in the background or some music on the Alexa. And I sit and I actually have a journal where I write down a vision for myself. I write down things that I want. I write down things that I'm thankful for. And I reflect. I reflect on what I want. I look forward to the day. I set the tone for my day. I think doing this practice allows me to set the day for myself on how the rest of my day is going to go. I think if I don't do this, when I've not done this, pretty much I'm just open game to anything that happens throughout my day. And it's can be very stressful from there on out. So I think that the mindful reflection and journaling helps me set a tone for the day when I'm writing down things that I'm grateful for and I'm writing down a vision for myself and the things that I want, my goals. And then the last thing that I really try to do, which I know but hear me out, is limiting my screen time. Truly, honestly, I won't spend hours scrolling on Instagram or Facebook. I'm not saying I've never done it. I have, but when it happens, it's like in a blue moon. Like I rarely do it. I don't do it often. So I limit my screen time because even though we think it feels good in the moment to just numb out and just scroll, 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 it's kind of like eating a giant bag of chips, right? It's so good going down, but afterwards, it doesn't feel so good, does it? It's kind of nauseating. You're like, you just feel sluggish, right? So To me, screen time does the same thing if I spend too much time scrolling. I will allow myself a few minutes to poke through some videos and get a good laugh in, or some warm heart stories in. But other than that, then I shut it down and I keep moving. I do something else. So, to conclude, this is what I like to do to help myself get through the stressors of my day. And I think this is especially important as we are in the holiday hustle. I know for me in my household, I am the magic elf, I'm the one who pulls it all together. So, self care and prioritizing me is critical. All right. Tell me, how do you plan on incorporating any self care into your busy holiday schedule and season? I would love to hear from you. Check me out. Drop the in the comment section below. Hit like, hit subscribe. What else? You can also follow me on Instagram if you prefer Instagram. I am jessica.delarosa.she knows. Or you can join me on Facebook at my Facebook group where I leave a lot of content there, great things to download as well. And that is at facebook.com/rise above burnout. Rise above burnout. Other than that, I hope to hear from you, and I want you to have a fantastic day.